The 2018 NASCAR Cup Series season marked the beginning of a new era over at Hendrick Motorsports. With former superstars in Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., and Kasey Kahne either retiring or leaving the team entirely, the 2018 driver lineup for Hendrick Motorsports was about to look extremely different, and also with some rebranding in the mix. Even though wholesale changes were being made for the future, the expectations for Hendrick Motorsports are still extremely high, which is why if you bring up the 2018 season to any Hendrick Motorsports fan, they will immediately cringe. This is the worst Hendrick Motorsports season. To start off with their most successful driver, Chase Elliott entered the 2018 season with high expectations, but also with a new rebrand. Out of the trio of young drivers on the team, he was expected to do the most. Coming off of his first top 5 points finish, the fans expected him to win right out of the gate. Unfortunately, parts of the first half of 2018 were looking like a bad season.
Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Kasey Kahne.
Oh man.
You all right?
Kurt Busch around, hard into the wall after contact from Chase Elliott.
Wow. Chase, poor Chase, he had nowhere to go. At 41 in the wall right in front of him, and of course he plowed right into him. Think about the traction.
Oh, trouble.
Oh, good grief.
Chase Elliott.
Oh, no.
Michael McDowell.
Oh,
Martin
Truex is
Truex
the last second.
Trials
Truex.
in. And, gosh, that was ugly.
17 of Stenhouse does a slide job on Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, he kind of could have pushed the issue there. And look, it ends up costing him another position.
Well, I think it cost Stenhouse, too.
Yeah, they each lose a spot to Kyle Busch, and
A little frustration.
that's on the cool-down lap. They had a discussion about it behind the pit wall afterward.
You had to really question Chase Elliott's luck at times. By the halfway point of the season, he is well below the top 10 in points, and even after scoring a pole at Daytona, he was caught up in the big one extremely early in the race. Even though the team's struggles were pretty obvious, he was leaps and bounds better than the other 300 cars. An in-season turnaround was bound to happen, right? Well, during the second half of 2018, that's exactly what happened. Chase Elliott ended 2018 strong, scoring 3 wins the entire season, 2 of those 3 coming during the playoffs. As a matter of fact, he would be the only Hendrick driver to even score a victory all season. For the second year in a row, he was back in the round of 8 once again, but unfortunately was caught up in a late race crash. At the end of it all, it was a good season for Chase Elliott. 3 wins, 11 top 5s, and 21 top 10s, along with a 6th place points finish. However, for the most successful team driver in history, it was a totally different story. Jimmie Johnson entered the season looking for his record-breaking 8th Cup Series title. The year before, he might have been considered a tad bit off for his standards, but he was still pretty good. 3 wins and 16 top 10s is nothing to be ashamed of. Unfortunately, little did we know at the time that the Pocono crash would pretty much mark the beginning of the end. The team went through a little rebranding of their own, but they did not expect a performance dip quite like this.
I think.
Oh, Johnson gets turned!
Not again.
Kyle Busch into Larson into Johnson. And for what, the 7th year in a row, Jimmie Johnson will crash out of the clash. So what happens here?
Jimmie drops out of line after they come through the trial. Well, he realizes he has a problem. It looked like the car got pretty loose right there. As he moves down, I believe he blows a left rear tire, sends him into Eric Almirola. Daniel Suarez has to avoid him, spins to the infield. I think other than some tires, Daniel might be okay.
Inside, one coming back on top.
Absolutely nothing you can do in that
No.
situation. Now that looks like it might have been a tire. He was really, really loose. I could see him fighting the car as we had him in some shots earlier, but the way that snapped around.
Could be the right rear.
I mean, the right rear's certainly down now because of that slide blocking up the tires. Oh, he checks up a lot. Oh, that gets 11 loose underneath the 10 in Amarola.
Oh boy, the two got a ton of damage. So did 48. Wow, the 48 plowed in that inside wall. There's a 6. That took out a bunch of cars, guys.
So it's Denny Hamlin that goes sideways in front of half the field.
So you see the 24 starts coming up. Look, it just seems like the air changed and allowed that 48 to just get loose.
Yeah, the 48 and the 24. I think the 24 may have gotten on the brakes, and that caused his car to get loose. But I don't know what happened to Johnson.
Hamlin.
So one outside from behind. One outside. Behind the Menard car, if you want it, still outside.
Jimmie making that left exit down into the corner.
This time the caution came out just before Martin Truex Jr. got to the finish line. And we see Jimmie Johnson climbing out of the window.
But he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clint was moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall.
I've lost oil pressure. Engine's not running. On pit road. Are we done? Yes, sir, we're done.
Through the final banked curve at Charlotte Roval. Now he goes to the inside. Here comes Jimmie Johnson.
Oh!
Locks the brakes up.
Oh, he's
and he's going to slide. He slides through the middle. Truex gets tagged. Now it'll be a fight for the finish line. Ryan Blaney in the 12 will win.
Big news for Jimmie Johnson. The 11-time Dover winner comes down pit road with an issue with the right front. The tire I thought was loose. You're going to see how much the wheel moves around, but under closer inspection, it's not just the wheel. It's the center hub, the studs, and everything. So definitely some sort of major suspension failure on the 48 under pace laps.
What an amazing job of staying out of getting back on the racing line.
You see his car start to go up the racetrack. He just couldn't turn it because he was too loose and had to turn it to stay off the 10 of Eric Amarola and just spun out. Something we have seen with this 48 team before, where the car gets so loose and just can't hang on to it.
So why is that tri-oval so tricky? That bottom lane is flatter than the rest of the tri-oval. Pretty hard contact, and that's a position for Boyer.
Yeah, it could be a position for Boyer, but it may be a position for everyone else also, so it may not matter. Just underneath Eric Jones, wheel hopping. Now he's up the racetrack and kind of along for the ride. Luckily, Eric Jones didn't get damaged.
Yeah, down into turn 3. Really early. Look, Jimmy's already spinning out right there. I mean, this is just not like the way these cars are supposed to drive. I mean, these drivers don't deal with these kind of conditions anywhere else at any other racetrack where they're spinning out before they ever get to the corner. Look at the wheels, though. Look how hard he's got it turned to the left. Jimmie trying to keep it out of the fence, just cranked full left, full lock to the left.
Jimmie Johnson had his first ever winless season at Hendrick Motorsports with just 2 top 5s and 11 top 10s. Even though he made the playoffs, he was knocked out early, and the season also marked the end of an era with both Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson parting ways after the 2018 season. Knaus was about to crew chief what many fans viewed as the future of Hendrick Motorsports. William Byron had just won the 2017 Xfinity Series championship and was about to move up full-time to drive the famous 24. What followed were parts of the fan base actually calling William Byron a bust already.
He gets right up to that rear bumper and then goes to side draft that left rear. Well, I mean, that's look how close he is. And it just basically that just packs air like Larry was talking earlier, but instead of pulling him back, it actually took the back of the car and turned it around.
Byron in the 24.
It's up on the outside there.
He's behind Jimmie Johnson. Just look at him in a big slide. Oh, a little bit of contact.
Now here comes the
front.
6. Here comes Bain.
Goes up the banking.
And makes it. 24 up on the high side.
Bubba Wallace. Yeah, I don't know. Don't think whatever Bubba coming up didn't seem to have anything to do with that. I think he just blew maybe a right front tire. Maybe some of that damage that team tried to fix, it just couldn't quite clear those fenders.
Darren, looks like we have a flat tire coming to you.
Now he's got to make it another 2 miles around to get to pit road.
Yeah, at that speed, we're going to see some
Caution
debris.
is out.
Caution
Caution
for
is out.
debris on the back straightaway that came off William Byron's car. And here's what happens. Look for the flames and the sparks.
Yeah, right rear tire. Probably haven't, he's got a lot of body damage, probably rubbed it.
Right front blows out as he's locked up the tires, sliding there on the apron.
We may have a tire rub on William Byron's car, the 24.
Yeah, I saw the right side of his car. I don't know where he got into something, but he did. He does have some right side damage.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to have to come in and fix that. You can see as the. Oh, I don't know. I think that's the 48 as a right front fender. The 24 got close to the left rear, just pushed that air in that left rear and brought it around.
Wow. Gray Galding shoots the middle and makes it. Byron on the bottom.
He just gets loose underneath
he just
the
starts spinning out, gets into the.
Man, it just.
Oh my gosh, the car almost went over.
Just hooked, nosed in.
How many times have we seen a car land on top of Ryan Newman?
Ryan Newman? Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 or 3 times I can remember.
Too many.
Alex is saying that when he gets around other cars, though, he just gets tight. Whoa, and he gets his teammate loose into the wall.
William Byron into the wall.
Stuff ready.
Coming
Inside,
off turn 2.
You're clear. Got pretty hard right rear damage. You're clear to the bottom.
Byron has talked all night long. The one issue they have fought is he just felt like it is just bad loose, and when he tried to put wheel in it, it felt like the back end would snap out. But they thought on the last pit stop they'd taken a couple of big swings at it. They felt like it was getting better, but it definitely got away from him there.
Dave, I'm just not wrecking enough people. I need to wreck more people so they'll stop throwing bad blocks, and that's what's happening to me on the white track. So everybody that's watching, all them drivers out there, throw another bad block. I'm just going to drive through you and wreck you, so look out and tailgate.
Oh, my goodness.
Sideways the 18, hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
William doesn't want to go to that bottom ground. He's already loose.
Yeah.
I think he may have had a flat tire. God, that thing looked so loose turning off into turn 1. I thought he was driving into the middle groove purposely and not going to the bottom. Going to force Truex into the top groove, into the high groove, outside of the groove. And Williams' car looked so loose off the wall.
Yeah, he was loose early in the corner.
Showing you there, William Byron in the 24. That's because he says he is blowing up, and now you can see that puff of smoke coming out. William's saying that the oil pressure is on 2, and he just said it's too hot, and he has no oil pressure.
Look at William Byron up against the wall, trying to make time. Contact, though. Going to have to stay off that wall, Rick.
Caution has just come out. William Byron, a lot of damage to the right side of that car and the rear.
It's already in the wall.
See it bouncing the car.
Right tire issue.
And he tries to get on the wall.
Almirola, that's Almirola.
Almirola avoiding it, gets into the wall hard.
Going up the racetrack on a flat right front. Eric catches him and just hits the wall hard.
The 24 has made it to pit road. If you're wondering if that car might bring out a yellow, he actually cut through the Legends car track portion of the front straightaway to get to his pit box.
And too hard through 1. Keselowski, Larson, both into the wall. They pile up, and the Tums heartburn turn. Caution coming out again.
Had no grip. We're drove it.
The 23's there, as well as Alex Bowman in the 88. The caution will come out.
Right side damage, guys, right rear.
It's going to go to overtime.
You knew it was coming.
Oh, that looks like an engine failure right there for the 24. If it is, that'd be the second for that company.
Coming to you on pit road here, smoking big.
Oh, man. That's not what you want to see if you're
Chase
another
Elliott.
car. Yeah, Chase
Right,
Elliott,
garage
Kyle
right
Larson.
there.
Oh, yeah. There, man, that's a pretty good job there. 14 feet wide, very narrow. The 14 leaves. That's heavy damage to the right front of the 14, although the fender looks pretty good. Concern it might have damaged some suspension parts. We'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from this angle what started it, but whether he got any help earlier on corner entry or whether he wheel hopped the rear, we don't have another look.
Because
Yeah, big
got more coming in. That's the last one. Come on.
couple cars around
Jimmy's
down there.
probably got into him a little bit here. I can't see the right.
William Byron see a little bit of damage on the left front. The crew chief for William Byron in 2019 will be Chad Knaus. And it was the 48s that was involved.
By far the worst season the 24 has ever had. 0 wins, 0 top 5s, just 4 top 10s, an average finish of 22.1 led to a 23rd place points finish, but unfortunately 9 DNFs. At least he won Rookie of the Year. From driving for underdog teams to now driving for a competitive one, Alex Bowman's career in the Cup Series is a true rags to riches story. He had already shown flashes of brilliance in his relief starts for Dale Jr. back in 2016, so when it came time to replacing Dale Jr., it was only fitting that Alex Bowman would get the opportunity. You knew naturally the 88 team was going to be a threat for the Daytona 500 pole, and that's what happened. The downside to that is it would be the only time the 88 was in victory lane all season.
The 12's right in that area, that left rear that turns him around.
And it was Alex half the field.
It was on from there. Oh, trouble. Turn 4 here, guys.
Alex Bowman comes around.
Paul Menard gets him. And quickly, we are under caution.
Alex Bowman clipped the apron just a little bit. Maybe the air off the 6 car loosened him up also. Around he came, and Austin Dillon, unfortunately, nowhere to go. Or Paul Menard.
Or the 19 of Suarez, and too bad for those guys, because
the 88's in the fence, guys.
Caution comes out.
The right sides are both down, coming to you now.
Down the back straightaway, following Denny Hamlin off in the turn 3, blows the right front tire, has the right front tire go down.
And remember, this is one of those cars that took only 2 tires at the pit stop.
He did. Yeah, he did. He did have only 2 tires on that last pit stop and probably was fighting a real tight situation, using a ton of brake, or more brake than usual.
Another look
Oh,
as they
boy.
catch the wall. Yeah, the 47 just got into the back of the 88. Both of them sliding into that outside wall, and then a hard contact for Allmendinger on the inside wall. You don't want to test them, but they've been tested a couple of times already today. He brings the 10 of Eric Almirola. Almirola hit the wall, into the wall, then into the 2. The 2 goes around. The caution's going to come out again.
Caution is out, back down easy.
Alex Bowman collected it.
Look at that right there. You see that? The 10 car, that bump, Junior, off of 2. As soon as he rolled through that bump, that's what I think upset his car.
Got Alex in the middle on the outside. Trevor Bain. Trevor gets a little loose, but they're 4 wide here. And it looks like that Alex gets loose. Just the air around that car created that. I do not believe that the 32 of Matt DiBenedetto touched that 88. It was just where the 88 was and the lack of downforce and air and side force on that car. It just got loose and spun out.
I want to know what the 78 Martin Truex Jr. is thinking right about here.
Yeah, watch how hard he has to hit the brakes to avoid all this.
We were just talking about that off air a little bit. Like, what do you do as a crew chief? Like, I'm Martin Truex Jr. I'm like, oh, I got to stop.
You got a car spinning.
Down goes the 88 of Bowman on fire. Caution will come out again.
Here's that yellow you were looking for, guys, to give Eric Almirola the chance that he needs to be aggressive.
See how quickly Bowman's going to climb out of that car.
The only bright spot was Alex Bowman's first playoff appearance, but even that was underwhelming. Just like Jimmie Johnson, he would be out in the first round. 2018 saw 0 wins, 3 top 5s, 11 top 10s, and an average finish of 17th. 2018 was by far Hendrick Motorsports' worst season, and if you really look at the big picture, Chevy's worst season in NASCAR as well. But you have to remember, it's not always gloom and doom. Sometimes a team has to be really bad before they can be really good. And for Hendrick Motorsports, that's exactly what happened. As we're revisiting them at the end of the 2021 season, it is apparent that Hendrick Motorsports is officially back. Alex Bowman is coming off of his best season up to this point with a career-high 4 wins. William Byron has pretty much shredded those potential bust labels for a potential superstar one. 1 win, 12 top 5s, 20 top 10s, 2 poles, and for the first time in his Cup Series career, a top 10 points finish. Let's not forget, he's going to be here for a while with his recent 5-year contract extension. It's also fitting that the most successful driver from their worst season became the first to bring a championship back to them. Chase Elliott won what might be the first of many Cup Series championships in 2020. Unfortunately for Jimmie Johnson, he would never score another Cup Series victory, and after the 2020 season would officially retire from the sport. But as for his team, it would go another way, and in the best way possible. They rebranded from the 48 to bring back the famous 5, and with that, brought in a generational talent in Kyle Larson. One of the best turnarounds resulted in Kyle Larson's first Cup Series championship, as well as Hendrick Motorsports' second straight. It's safe to say Hendrick Motorsports is back, but let's never forget that the foundation was set way back in 2018, which unfortunately will forever be remembered as the worst season in Hendrick Motorsports history. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.